Welcome back to day one of the 100 horror films in 31 days. Got in four films today. First up is Scream Factory release for the Universal Collection, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi. I checked out Black Cat, which I've seen hundreds of times, 1934, directed by Edward G. Ulmer, who apparently, the interesting part of this, there's a lot of interesting backdrops to the Black Cat. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's one of the best pairings of Lugosi and Karloff that ever was. It's a great story, well acted, and I think Bela Lugosi was at one of his best at this film. Lucille Lund plays the recently deceased wife of Lugosi, and she's being kept kind of like in a glass cage, if you will, with by Karloff. Apparently, when they were shooting the film, Edward Ulmer, the director, made a pass at Lucille Lund or something like that. She rejected him, and he basically blackballed her. I think this was like her only film. And in fact, they said that she was stuck in this cage while they went to lunch. She was hung in this cage, suspended in this glass cage, while everybody else went to lunch. Terrible. Anyway, that was on the commentary track. Great film. It's only an hour and 5 minutes, but it's just a great tour de force between Karloff and Lugosi. One of my favorites. I could watch it over and over and over. Next up is another classic, Val Lewton's Cat People, with Simone, who she was apparently another backdrop to the film. I listened to the commentary track on this. She was apparently a diva, very much a diva. She never married. Apparently, she had a lot of boyfriends apparently, but she never married. But she was fantastic in this. This is this kind of a film. William Friedkin talks about this quite a bit, that we've lost in the modern age that ability to tell a story without showing everything. And this film really, it builds suspense without really showing you anything. It's all done in shadow, and the lighting, the pacing of the film, and the acting of the film is just superb. It's 8 out of 10. It's a great film. I actually like the remake too, by the way. Cat People is a really, really good film. It's not going to bowl you over with a lot of special effects, but what's there is very subtle, very artistic, beautifully shot, and you can't ask for more in a horror suspense movie than the Cat People. It's a great movie. What next? Kind of running through these a little bit quickly. Tales of Terror, 1962, I believe. Samuel Z. Arkoff. This I forgot how good this is. I really need to pick up the Blu-ray because I really enjoyed the hell out of this anthology stories. It was great. My favorite is the one with Peter Lorre and Vincent Price, where Vincent Price plays this wine expert, and he does battle with Peter Lorre, who is also a wine expert, but he's a wine expert. He's a wine expert because of his drinking. He's just a prolific drinker, and even though he's drunk, falling off his chair, he can still tell you what vintage wine he's drinking. Great story, hilarious and horrific at the same time, particularly how Peter Lorre gets his revenge on Vincent Price. Basil Rathbone is in this. By the way, I should have mentioned this. I forgot to mention this. I've watched back to the Black Cat just a second. If you watch the Black Cat enough, look for John Carradine. John Carradine has a bit role at the very end in the scene where Karloff is basically doing his satanic rites mass, black mass. John Carradine is there in the back. I've never seen that before, but he's there. It's cool. Anyway, back to the Tales of Terror. Yeah, the wine scene, the wine episode was great. Also, the episode where Vincent Price's Valdemar come back from the dead. That was great too. Apparently they used just a mud mask on him, very effective, making him look like a dead body, but it was just a simple mud mask, but it was very effective. 8 out of 10 on that one. And then finally finished it up with yet another anthology, and that is Torture Garden, Amicus classic film. This was, I guess, towards the latter part of their success, where they were just parlaying more and more the fact that anthologies were doing well. This one gets a little bit of a riff because of Jack Palance's performance at the end with the last anthology episode, but I thought he did great. That's the episode where he and Peter Cushing are Poe worshipers, Edgar Allan Poe worshipers, and Peter Cushing has this collection of things that typically haven't been found with Poe, and he actually has a lot more to it than just manuscripts written by Poe. Very good, very effective, and I think Jack Palance was great in that episode. Burgess Meredith, it does the kind of the wraparound story. He's like the devil, if you will, and great stuff. Great transfer on this. This release, by the way, Powerhouse Indicator has a 77-minute documentary with Freddie Francis, or an audio interview, probably a better description. There's also Kim Newman seems to be on all these talking about the film, but it's a loaded special release, and it's also got a booklet, as do almost all of the Indicator releases. So yeah, that was a good day of watching. All these films are 8 out of 10s in my opinion. Great stuff. Great way to kick off the 100 horror films in 31 days. So that's 4 down. Counting the pre-day one video from yesterday, I'm already at 8. So yeah, I'm on pace. All right, if you've seen any of these films or have any comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks.